Thank you very much. I will try to keep my 10 minutes I have got from you, Martin. The professor was a nickname I got in the latest stage of the IGF code when I tried to explain the physical background of filling limits to a committee at IMO. I don't know if I have succeeded. Let's talk about the IGF code. The first and most important thing, and maybe I could conclude my speech with it, it's done. The IGF code is done. It's amended. It's reality. We can live with it. Maybe we have to live it like the Arabs have to live with a camel. You know, the camel was intended to be a horse, but it was developed by a commission. But I think you also can ride a camel, and I think we will be able to live with the IGF code for several years. The basics of the IGF code comes from these nice vessels. Its basics is gas carriers, and nowadays the gas carriers, not only the LNG carriers, also other gas carriers, will be allowed to run on LNG as a fuel. The first vessel, which was not a gas carrier, it was already named by Gerd, was the Glutra. It was taken into operation in 2000. I visited the vessels in 2003 and was really impressed how the principles of the IGC code have been transferred to this vessel. This vessel is still running successfully, even had a collision, and nothing happens to the gas system. And it is a very good example that you can operate LNG as a ship fuel in a safe manner. Maybe it is not known to everyone that already in the early 2000s, between 2002 and 2004, the IGF code principles have been discussed among the class societies. Maybe some colleagues will remember. There was a project which was looking a little bit more ahead than we are looking now. It was a project driven by the European Union and was evaluating fuel cell systems on ships, and low flash point fuels and LNG as a fuel were already on the agenda at this time, and a number of class society have sit around the table and discussed some basics which you will find at the end also in the functional requirements of the IGF code today. So this goes a long time back, but it's not past. Some reality was also already hydrogen as a fuel, not in liquid form, but in compressed form. You might know that in Hamburg, this nice vessel had run between 2008 and 2014 on the Lake Alster, and it was also to some extent applying the safety principles of the IGF code with hydrogen, compressed hydrogen, 70 people on board. It even survived a fire. So the safety principles could not be so bad. It's a little bit a mishap that this vessel is not running anymore. The only reason is that no one was able to supply the hydrogen for a reasonable price. Technically, it would be feasible. Would be nice to see such a vessel again. Not in the moment, it's not scrapped. In the moment, it is simply laid off. But most likely, we will see a nasty diesel engine on this vessel in the future. So hydrogen is also a reality. We proved that it is possible to manage it in a safe way. Fuel cells are still on the agenda. We talk about low flash point fuels when we talk about the IGF code. We don't talk only about LNG. Most principles can be applied to other low flash point fuels, and in the coming years you will see fuel cells on passenger vessels, on other vessels, and there's a project called E4Ships, or Lighthouse project, which is developing fuel cell systems for ships, and the test versions coming into reality now. And in 5 years' time, I think we will see fuel cells on commercial vessels. So this is a little bit the outlook what is enabled by the IGF code. The IGF code is done now. We have a long history of rules, and now we have the IGF code available. We also have rules available for bunkering. We have recommended practices which help the port authorities and the other authorities to make LNG as a ship fuel a reality. And we have 73 vessels running now and 80 on order. When you look to the scrubber orders for new buildings, you will see that there are more vessels with LNG as fuel on order than on new buildings for scrubber. Most scrubbers are on conversions. This is a look into the Glutra. The main safety principle, and I only will mention this one, is the separation of the LNG and gas system and low flashpoint fuel systems from the rest of the vessel. How this is done in the Glutra, you see with these tremendous duct where all this piping are routed. This main principle is, for me, the most important thing you have to observe when you look to LNG or other low flashpoint fuels on normal vessels. You simply separate the dangerous LNG system and the dangerous LNG from the rest of the vessel. This is completely different from gas carriers. So when you operate such a vessel, remember this basic principle. Nowadays we do this successfully on even much bigger vessels. Let's come to the final part of my presentation. What we will see is in near future, I guess, could be next year, could be in 3 years, could be in 10 years. We will see what happens, but also these vessels can run on LNG as ship fuel and will run on LNG as ship fuel. This is purely a commercial matter. New buildings will have the tanks below the deck house. No doubt that this is possible. And maybe conversions will have the tanks at a different place. Also, this is possible. And in the also not so far future, we might see even gas steam turbine plants with the same efficiency as diesel engine plants, and this will deal with the fact that LNG needs more space than diesel oil, but LNG has a possibility to make these plants very, very efficient and make thinkable what is in shipping not simple thinkable with fuels like heavy fuel of today. At the end, it's all a matter of pricing. We see that the LNG price today, or it's from yesterday, I think, is at the same level as the gas price in Europe is at the same level as HFO price. This is not a good news because you have to distribute it into the vessels, and therefore it is in the moment a little bit more expensive. The real future of heavy fuel oil, I think, is this one. Since decades, heavy fuel oil part of the oil production is shrinking. The miracle word is flexi-coking, Google it. But within a few years, we will not see heavy fuel oil in the world anymore. And at least when you think about 25 years for a new building, this new building will not be scrapped with the same fuel as it has today. This was what I wanted to tell in 10 minutes. I don't know if I have succeeded, but thank you very much.